Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to Monday's lesson on fractions. Hope you all had a really good weekend, and let's get going. So I have a starter for you to start with. It's very similar to what we did last week. I would like you to look at the fraction which the shapes are showing and write it as an improper fraction, which is where the numerator is larger than the denominator, so a top-heavy fraction, and a mixed number fraction, so like a part whole model. So write how many wholes there are and then what is left. Okay, if you're not sure, I'll go through it now with you. So as an improper fraction, that's when you count all the individual segments. Okay, so if I get my pen, it wants to load. Sorry, my computer's been a bit slow. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So our numerator would be 13, and our denominator is what the shapes are split into. So they're split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts. So therefore, as an improper fraction, it would be 13/5. As a mixed number fraction, you count how many wholes you have. So we have 1 whole, 2 wholes. Oh, that didn't work. 2 wholes. And then we count how many we've got left over. So we have 1, 2, 3 segments out. And the denominator would still be 5 because it's out of 5 parts or possible parts altogether. So I hope that all makes sense for you. If you do want to go back and look at the other videos, they will still be on YouTube. So let's move on then to today's learning. So we're looking at adding fractions today, however, fractions with the same denominator. So it should hopefully be quite straightforward. We'll go through a few together and then you'll have a go and I'll go through them with you. So our star words today are fraction, numerator, denominator, add, mixed and improper. So we're still looking at those mixed number fractions and improper fractions, but our main focus today is adding fractions. So I have, if I can get this off, 2 quarters, add 1 quarter. So what do you notice about these fractions? What's the same and what's different? If you have someone there to chat to, pause the video and have a chat. What's the same and what's different about them? So by looking at these, I've spotted that the denominator is the same. They've both got 4 on the bottom. However, the numerator is different. Okay. So when we are adding fractions, as long as the denominator is the same, we can just add the numerators. So when we add fractions, there's 2 rules to remember. So the number 1 says when adding fractions, the same denominator, when adding fractions with the same denominator, the denominator does not change. Okay, so when they have the same, so these are both have 4, your answer will have the same denominator. Okay, and we can also add the numerators together. So the 2 and the 1 are added together to make 3, but the denominator stays the same. So we only add the numerator, the denominator stays the same. And that's a really important piece of information for today. So now it's your turn to have a go. So if you feel confident, have a go at those. See if you can work out what the answer is. This one, you've got to find out what the question mark is. And if you're not sure, then we'll go through them together now. So 3, 6, add 2, 6. The denominator is the same. Therefore, our answer, the denominator is going to be 6. And then we just add the numerators. So we have 3, add 2, 3 in your head, 2 on your fingers, 4, 5. Therefore, the answer is 5, 6. This one, we have 8 fifteenths, add 5 fifteenths. So 15 add 15. They are the same denominator. So therefore, our denominator for our answer is going to be 15. And then we have 8 add 5. We've got to add our numerators. So 8 in your head, 5 on your fingers. And that would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 fifteenths. This one was a bit trickier. So you've been given 5 twelfths, add something twelfths equals 9 twelfths. So you had to work out what went here. Well, basically, what do you have to add to 5 to get to 9? And that should be 4. Okay, so 5 twelfths add 4 twelfths equals 9 twelfths. Hopefully that was all okay. I think this is quite straightforward. Once you remember to keep the keep the denominator the same and just add the denominator. Even I'm getting myself in a pickle. Sorry, it must be a Monday morning. If you remember to keep the denominator the same and you just add the numerators, then it should be quite straightforward. It's just practicing it really, and that's what you're going to be doing today for your main task. So let's move on then to our developed learning. Look at this question now. So we have 3/5 add 4/5. How do we answer this? Can we use a previous method? And what is different this time? So pause the video and see if you can have a go at working that one out and see if you notice what's different about this one to the ones we've looked at so far. So if you remember the rules, if the denominators are the same, the denominator is going to be the same one for the answer. So our denominator will still be 5. And then we add our numerator. So 3 add 4 is 7. However, for those of you who have spotted or worked out, this is an improper fraction because it has a bigger numerator than the denominator. So the number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom. So we need to show the answer here either as an improper fraction or as a mixed number. Don't know why there's a question mark there, it's not really a question. Here is showing a improper fraction or a top-heavy fraction. We could also show it as a mixed number fraction because you know you can fit one lot of 7/5 in there. Sorry, one lot of 5/5, which is one whole, in 7/5, and then you have 2 left over. So they are the same, okay? But if you just want to write it as an improper fraction, then that's fine, okay? Just focus on that because our main learning attention today is just to add the fractions, not to be able to convert them between improper and mixed number. So now it's your turn. I want you to have a go at these. So you need to write the answers down. You can write as improper fractions. And this one, you need to find out what goes here and then see if you can do it as a mixed number fraction as well. If you're not sure, then let's go through the answers together now. So we have 5/6 add 2/6, so our denominator will stay the same as 6. 5 add 2 is 7, therefore our answer is 7/6. And if you were writing it as a mixed number, it would be 1 and 1/6, because you can fit one lot of 6/6 in 7/6, and there'd be one left over. You could draw it as well if that helped you. And then 8/15 add 10/15, so the denominator is the same, so the answer for the denominator for the answer would be 15, and then you add the numerators. So 8 add 10 is 18. And if you want to write that as a mixed number fraction, it'd be 1 and 3/15. And then for this one, you had to work out what you add on to 8 to get 15, and that would be 7. So 8/12 add 7/12 equals 15/12, or 1 and 3/12. Okay, for those of you who aren't sure how I'm converting this, all I'm thinking in my head, let me see if I can draw a shape a minute. I'll just pause the video and get it all ready for you. Okay, so what I've done is just drawn a shape and split it into 6 because I know the fractions out of 6. So this at the moment shows 6/6, doesn't it? Because it's a whole. So if I just write that down, 6/6. So we know that that is 6/6. But we've got 7/6, so we know that this is one whole. So we've got one whole, and we know that if we've only got 7/6, it's just going to be one extra, isn't it? It's going to be one extra segment. I can just copy and paste this. Ooh. There we go. So that is one whole and 1/6, which is the equivalent to 7/6. And you can also count the segments as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So hopefully that just makes it a bit more clearer. But like I said earlier, don't worry too much about converting if that's confusing you at the moment. Just focus on writing your answer in as an improper fraction. So now it's your turn to have a go on Mathletics. You have one task set on there today. If you finish it and still want a challenge, then come back to the video as there is a challenge at the end for you. So for those of you who are completing the challenge, I want you to try and solve these for me. So you need to work out what the question marks are. And then as an extension, can you write the fractions in red, so the answers, as a mixed number fraction as well? Okay, so you might want to pause the video, see if you can work those out, and then I will go through the answers with you. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you managed to have a good go at those questions and they weren't too challenging. So for this first one, it should be 6. So 3/6 add 6/6 equals 8/6, and that could also be written as one whole and 3/6. You can actually see here 6/6 is one whole, and that's 3/6 left over. This one, it should be 6/15 add 11/15 equals 7/15, and that as a mixed number fraction is 1 and 2/15. And then the last one up here, it should be 8/12 and 7/12 equals 15/12. And then as a mixed number fraction, it would be 1 and 3/12. That's all I have for you today. It was quite a nice short video for you. Hopefully it all made sense. Again, if there's any issues, let me know and I can add you to the drop-in session on Wednesday. But yeah, nice short video for you today. And I didn't waffle on too much. That's good. Thank you for watching, and I shall speak to you all tomorrow.